Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel.
This video is brought to you by the Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Ladies and gentlemen, go through and pick your items. I got this Father's Matter hat on. I like to wear my hats backwards, but this is a cold-blooded hat. Also, Father's Matter shirt is back in stock. Jesus is Lord is here. Shirt I got on now, and Jesus is Lord hat is back in stock. So go on to the Officer Tatum Store and get your merch. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live and make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to talk about this incident that popped up earlier today. Cassidy Hutchinson. They put a pretty woman in front of Congress and let her say whatever she want to say, and they expect you to be dumb enough to believe her. Let me tell you this. There's a such thing called pretty privilege. If you're a good-looking woman, people will tend to believe you even if you're lying to their face. And I believe this is why they chose Cassidy Hutchinson to tell what I believe is a bald-faced lie. If you have not seen the testimony from Cassidy Hutchinson at the January 6th hearing, which I think is a complete fraud and a scam, and most American people couldn't care less about January 6th at this point when your gas prices are out of control, inflation is out of control, the housing market is out of control. You think you're gonna buy a house now? In Arizona, the housing market has exploded. You ain't gonna be able to buy a house now. All of those things are going on, and they want you to focus on January 6th. Now, Cassidy Hutchinson is a former aide to the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows. And she is claiming, and I got a video and I'll play it in a second, she's claiming that Donald Trump on the day of January 6th tried to get Secret Service to take him to the U.S. Capitol building, and that he became irate when they would not do it because the area was not secured. Now, she go on to say some of the most ignorant things ever. I want to read this and then I'll play the clip. She also claimed that Trump tried to grab the steering wheel of the armored presidential limousine, which is the Beast, which is the 22-foot machine, and the president sits in the very back. And I would argue that the passenger compartment is not even connected to where the Secret Service driver is actually operating. However, and a gentleman named Bob Engel, who was the lead security detail, had to tell him, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel," Hutchinson claimed, that Trump then lunged and assaulted the agent. Let me just give a quick take and I'm going to play the clip. I keep telling you I'm going to play the clip because I want you to hear it. But, you know, Donald Trump ain't a spring chicken, right? All right? I can't imagine Donald Trump jumping through the back of a limousine, diving over bodies, putting his hand on the steering wheel. What is he going to do? Take over the wheel, drive to the Capitol, and put his foot on the gas from the back seat? It don't even make sense for him to grab the steering wheel. What are you going to do? You're going to drive your guys off the road? People, why are they hailing her as a credible witness that have destroyed Donald Trump in her testimony? Let me let you hear what she had to say, and then we're going to go through methodically and break down why I think this is probably the biggest lie since Blasey Ford. Roll the clip.
When I returned to the White House, I walked upstairs towards the Chief of Staff's office, and I noticed Mr. Ornato lingering outside of the office. Once we had made eye contact, he quickly waved me to go into his office, which was just across the hall from mine. When I went in, he shut the door, and I noticed Bobby Engel, who is the head of Mr. Trump's security detail, sitting in a chair, just looking somewhat discombobulated and a little lost. I looked at Tony, and he had said, "Did you effing hear what happened in the Beast?" I said, "No, Tony, I just got back. What happened?" Tony proceeded to tell me that when the president got in the Beast, he was under the impression from Mr. Meadows that the off-the-record movement to the Capitol was still possible and likely to happen, but that Bobby had more information.
Hold on a second. She is saying that somehow Donald Trump gets into the Beast, the armored vehicle, and somehow thinks they're going to make a detour to the Capitol building. Off the record. Let me just explain this to you real quick for people that may not know. And I was a part of the presidential motorcade. So I not consistently, but I went on a presidential motorcade in Chicago when he went to a pro-police event. I was able to be in a motorcade. I was in one of the media vehicles, and we followed the president through the city. Now, when a president is being transported from point A to point B, there is a designated route. Why is there a route, Mr. Tatum? Because the Secret Service, snipers, tactical team, everybody that has been sworn in to protect the President of the United States of America has a route already pre-scheduled. So they know what the egress point is. They know what if they get into a bomb situation, a bomb threat, the president's life is in danger, they know how to get in and out. This is not some willy-nilly, let's take a ride in the Beast and go to McDonald's and hang out at the strip club. This is not how this goes, ladies and gentlemen. The President of the United States knows exactly where he's going and where he's going to end up and where he's returning back to. It's all predetermined. And for her to say that the president was under the impression that maybe they were going to take a detour to the Capitol, to do what? What are they going to do at the Capitol? He going to get out the car and stand in line? What is he going to do at the Capitol? What is the president of the United States going to do at the Capitol? You know, for a fact, there's not enough security for President Trump to get out of the Beast anywhere, let alone the Capitol building. What he's going to do? Go in there and slap Nancy Pelosi? No, it's no way that he would even be able to get in the Capitol, even if he showed up in the Beast. It just sounds implausible. Roll the clip.
As the president had gotten into the vehicle with Bobby, he thought that they were going up to the Capitol, and when Bobby had relayed to him, we don't have the assets to do it, it's not secure, we're going back to the West Wing. The president had a very angry response to that. Tony described him as being irate. The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel.
Hold on, time out. She just said at the beginning of her testimony that they were in the Beast. Last time I checked, the Beast is the limousine. And that thing is a 22-foot long vehicle. He just reached up in the front of the – listen, he sits in the back next to the window so everybody can see him. Same place that is a designated place he sit there. There's a designated place that he sit in Air Force One. There's a designated place where he sits in Marine One. How did the president going to go from the back of a 22-foot vehicle, somehow fly through the air with a Superman cape on, and put his arm through the I'm assuming there's a partition there that they must have opened to let the president put his arm through. And the president is a big dude. He ain't reaching his arm all the way through a partition to the steering wheel. Okay, keep going.
Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel. And when Mr. Ornato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
And was Mr. Engel in the room as Mr. Ornato told you this story?
He was.
Did Mr. Engel correct or disagree with any part of the story from Mr. Ornato?
Mr. Engel did not correct or disagree with any part of the story.
Did Mr. Engel or Mr. Ornato ever after that tell you that what Mr. Ornato had just said was untrue?
Neither Mr. Ornato nor Mr. Engel told me ever that it was.
Okay, so let me put this in perspective. This is a hearing. This is not a first-hand account. This is hearsay. She heard from another person who told her something, then she's recounting what he told her, and she wasn't present. And this is the trick of the enemy, and I got about 40 seconds to say this. This is the trick of the enemy, ladies and gentlemen. That's why in a court of law, in a real hearing, you can't introduce hearsay. It's not admissible in the court of law. Because she's going to say, he told me this. When it comes out that she's lying, who do you dispute? That he actually told her that, or she's lying about what he told her? Or is he lying about what he saw, then he told her to tell the Congress a lie? You see how confusing that is? That's why this is not admissible in the court of law. This is a sham, and they should be ashamed of themselves. You listen to the Officer Tatum Show. Hold the phone. I'll be back after the break.
We are in a big, fat, ugly bubble.